Oops, Warriors, welcome back to the channel. What's going on, everybody? We are on week 3 of our check-in for 2026 to see if our commitment to semen retention for the year. Also, we'll be talking about longevity. Uh, Recently discovered some information about that, as well as to highlight a great retainer, somebody who has retained in the past and achieved their goals, and to show you that it's not just anecdotal. Also, give you an update on the Triple Crown Championship journey that I'm pursuing. We have some really exciting news about some dates that are coming out, some World Championship dates that I'll be pursuing. So, hope to update everybody about that in this stream today. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nakapan Pungpon. I'm on the journey to become the first Triple Crown World Champion. That is a world champion in Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Kudo, and I'm documenting my experience so I can share everything I've learned with the world so we can chase greatness together. All right. So right now it is day 23 of my current streak, and I am feeling great. I woke up today at 5 in the morning, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. There's probably about maybe 6 hours of sleep. I generally get 7 to 8 if I can, but today I just had a lot of energy. So I got up and I figured, well, it's cold outside and I should just eat that frog. So I decided to put on all my clothes and go out for a run. I had a 6.5 mile run today that was planned for me by my strength and nutrition coach, Asim at Nova Barbell. And so I had to make that 6.5 mile run. Now, as I got up in the morning at 5 in the morning, I started running around 6, and it took me about an hour and 10 minutes. So I run a pretty slow pace as a 45-year-old man, but I'm running nonetheless, right? And I think I run like a barbarian. Like I'm just swinging my arms, and I'm very heavy footed, and it's really tough on my body. So um, I get through them, but they're not that enjoyable. So I decided I had a moment of inspiration this morning to look up on YouTube some running technique. Running is so, what would you say? We're built for it, right? But no one's ever taught us how to do it. At least no one ever taught me because I wasn't on a good track team or didn't do any of that. So had to learn on my own. Plus, my wife's starting to run, so she has to um, learn some technique as well. And she just mentioned the fact that she's going to look it up. So I figured I'd look it up too. And today's run just felt amazing. I was supposed to run upright. That's really important. And then just making sure that you take deep breaths as you're running through that, getting through it. And it wasn't a chore. It didn't feel terrible. I felt like I was really focused on my breath, really just in the zone, and had a really enjoyable run. Now, I would also say this would be a challenging thing to do because I am in the process of a weight cut right now. I'm 182 pounds. I woke up in the morning and I didn't drink anything and just went straight for the run. I have to be 178 pounds by the 31st. That's my next competition in judo. So I normally around this time, I don't really have a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of motivation. But still, I think it's because I'm retaining and because I'm not wasting my energy in front of some pixels on a screen. I'm able to channel that and go out for that 6.5 mile run this morning. So I'm really glad I did it. It never feels good while you're doing it, but when you get it done, you feel amazing. So uh, it was a great way to start the day, even though I'm going through this weight cut and I'm just about there. This week, I would also say I feel unshakable confidence, more like you don't really need a whole lot of people to tell you anything. You just know it on your own, right? So, in a sense that social media can't shake you, people's opinions can't really shake you. You know what you're trying to do. Maybe it's because I've been in the social media game for a while and been the subject of a lot of trolling, and it's just that just comes with the core with the territory on social media. Um, but in this case, I feel really, really good. I want to share with you something, and that is that I've been going viral in the jiu-jitsu community. I wish I could pull it up. I'm going to get some streaming software because I'm going to get better and better at this as we go along. But I have a article that was written here. It says semen retention for grappling performance? Question mark. It says BJJ black belt day has 183-day streak gave him boundless energy. So they're already putting information about it. Now I got a lot of mixed reviews, right? Because they talked about the comments and what people think about it. And of course, there's a lot of naysaying. There's a lot of want to almost like kill the messenger because if that happens and maybe the message isn't received, and I mean that's okay. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their lives. I'm just again sharing my experience with the world because I think if other people take it on, it may help them. But if not, I mean, that's fine too, right? So I'm just, sharing with it. And it's important because you can't really tell anybody how to be these days. If you do, we're very resistant. Like, how dare you tell me how to live my life? F you. That's just kind of like the overall um, attitude. And I'm just trying to help people. So that's it. I'm not trying to, no comparison needed. Okay. And the only thing I'm trying to compare myself to is myself. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. So hopefully I can share some of the information on the stream and share it with other people, and hopefully they can benefit. Um, but yeah, so I got two big articles in the jiu-jitsu community kind of swirling around. Other people have tagged me in it. They've sent it to me just to make sure that I'm not a crazy person. And I tell them, yep, I'm that crazy dude that said that. I have a 183-day streak where I retained my seed. And that's really also why I'm having this live stream, not only just to help everybody else connect more people that are doing it. Hey, what's going on, everybody in the chat? Nobita and Loco. Yep, yep. Thank you for being on here. Um, but hopefully, again, we can share this with the world and hopefully turn things around. But in any case, I just lost my train of thought right there. 183 days, right? So the commitment, why I'm on this channel also, not only to help people, but to make sure that I'm A, accountable, B, we're accountable to each other. But C, I want to go longer than 183 days. I want to get to 365 days. I want to see what it's like. A lot of people say that that's like, some huge milestone where we get some, I don't know, superpowers. I don't know. I've seen it in Reddit. I just want to experience it for myself and see if it's true. So 183 days, I feel great. I want to go past that. So that's my goal for this year. Hopefully other people are on board. Hey, if you didn't start in the beginning of the year, that's okay. You can start now, and we can all share the experience together and see where we go. So that's my overall goal. Now, one more thing about this live stream, I'm trying to understand the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to see what the best way to put this information out. As I said, I'm going to try to get some streaming software so that I can share, videos and pictures and stuff like that of all the different things I'm talking about. And just bear with me on that. But also, I'm probably just going to keep on leaving this in the live stream section. So after I do film it, I was saying I was going to delist it and then try to repost the video for basically would help the search engine people find it. But I'm just going to leave it in the live. That way people can kind of track it through and see, throughout the year where we are if you want to keep going through the videos. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at here with that. I would also say that, it's really important to find your why in this. And I just kind of told you my why, which is I want to make sure I have to achieve these goals, these martial arts goals I set for myself, right? Winning the world championship at the 45-year-old division in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and Kudo. And I'll do anything to give me some leg up in the competition, and if I've done basically everything that I needed to do. I've cleaned up my diet. I have a very strict training program, strict nutrition program. I try to get the right amount of sleep. And the next thing to do is steroids. I could inject myself with them, and then the next day I could be training forever. And recovering. I don't want to do that. My goal is to live longer. That's one of the things we'll talk about is longevity. So by doing TRT, which a lot of people do in my age, I think I would be cutting my life a little short, especially if I started now, and especially because I don't need it. I want it for performance purposes. I don't really need it for anything else. Other people do, and I don't. And I think one of the things that is helping that is this retaining our seed. Some people would say that there is no scientific proof that it increases your testosterone, but the things that I experience would be indicative of increasing testosterone or at least androgen receptor sensitivity. Assertiveness, confidence, fast healing, boundless energy, high upbeat mood. All these things people attribute to taking TRT. These things I find with retention, and that's where I think it can help a lot of people. Reduced anxiety, more creativity. So I don't think that's necessary right now. I think this maybe could be the answer to it, right? And making sure that you channel this into something positive too. And so for me, I'm channeling it into these athletic endeavors. And if you're looking for something to channel your energy into, especially if you're retaining, I would highly recommend martial arts. And I would just quickly plug my courses here. If you go to my website, nakapanmma.com. I have a lot of courses there right now. They're a lot on sale. All the proceeds of all the sales go to support the channel and also support my journey and becoming this world champion and sharing the information with you. Okay, so if you want to do that, I would more than welcome you to go there. And I really think martial arts and semen retention, they go hand in hand. Like the Shaolin monks and like these warrior monks. And that's also another reason why I'm doing it, is because I want to be like a warrior monk, so to speak. Looking here, what do you think about the fruit pomegranate? I've done a lot of research on pomegranate in terms of what it might do, but I think it's delicious. The only thing I don't like about it is there's so many seeds in it. I'm told you can eat the seeds and then blend them up in juices and stuff like that, but I'm not a huge. I don't eat it very often. I do like it though; it is delicious. So again, knowing your why, really important, and I hope we all can understand it together. Now, also, I like to know. You can comment if anybody is on a streak. Like, how long is your streak right now? How long have you been on it? And what's your longest streak? Let me know in the comments. And it would be good for other people to also understand that other people on this journey too, and that people in different stages of the journey. So that'd be really helpful. Let us know what streak are you currently on right now? How many days? And what's your longest streak? One thing to be very careful of, like, you don't want to get too white knuckling it, worried about your streak, like how many days, this and that. I just think for me, it's just a way to track something, but I don't think we should be so stuck on it, because if you do, it's like, man, I slipped, and maybe I'm just going to keep on relapsing and doing that because I've already lost my thing, and in your mind you're already defeated, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. So don't worry about it so much, but it is helpful to know where everybody is on their journey. So if you want to leave a comment, let me know how long you're on the streak. So yeah, quick updates on the Triple Crown too. I've set my goals for the year. Now that the schedules are out, the Veterans Judo tournament is going to be in Bosnia. I've never been to Eastern Europe. I'm really curious about it, and I guess Judo is going to bring me there. So it's on the September 20th to the 24th is the Veterans Judo World Championship. So I have that on my calendar ready to go, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, 2 weeks before that is going to be the IBJJF Masters World Champion. So September 1st to the 4th in Las Vegas. That's also on my calendar. So I'm ready to go back to back. Right out the jiu-jitsu tournament circuit, I'm ready to go into judo. So those are really exciting. I've done both of those a bunch of times already. So I'm looking to get on that podium and at least get one jewel on the Triple Crown this year. Also very exciting, Kudo. I just got my brown belt in Kudo, as you know, and we are about to be a certified branch in DC, Beta Academy in Washington, DC. If you're ever around, you want to train some mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, please come on in. We'd love to have you there. And we're about to be a certified Kudo branch in the United States. And I hopefully will be taking part in my first Kudo tournament, fighting in the business class division, which is the over 45 division. And that's going to be in Colorado Springs on the 3rd week of May. So very exciting that now we have everything lined up. We have the 3 world championships lined up. Really, this year I'm focusing on the Grand Slam tournaments. So the Pan Ams, the World Championships, the North American, the Europeans, anything anything that's a big tournament where I can get over 4 or 5 matches. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not really trying to go for any more small tournaments. I've done that for the last 20 years. And it's time to move on a little bit, especially now we're doing 3 different sports, right? So those are the updates for the Triple Crown Championship. Highlighting a great retainer. One person that I have encountered is AC Green. I'm not a big basketball fan, but he played for the Lakers in the 80s and early 90s. And he is known as the Iron Man of basketball. He played the most games. He barely missed any, I think 2 games in his whole career that he missed. And he credits that to abstinence. Now, semen retention and abstinence, they are, they don't have to be one and the same. There are ways to practice retaining your seed. One way is total abstinence, and that is what AC Green ascribes to. Now, he doesn't really talk about retaining your seed or semen retention in general. He is more talking about it from a religious standpoint and being closer to God. And he was known as the Virgin Bachelor. He did not spill his seed. He did not go out and have sexual relations with women. He was just focused on playing basketball. And he credits that for his faith. And I would say, like, he's not talking about superpowers or semen retention. He was just like, I was able to achieve a lot because I abstained and I didn't really focus on what everybody else was. And he was on a team with, I believe, Wilt Chamberlain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not good at basketball history. I'm not really not good at basketball either. As a matter of fact, don't pick me on your team if you want to win because I'm not going to help you win. I can't play defense though. But Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I understand that Wilt Chamberlain supposedly slept with like 20,000 women or something like this. And the Lakers in that during that time, I mean, they were just women magnets, right? So, and he decided not to take part in that. He wanted to be disciplined. He wanted to really focus on personal development, and he's a great example. And I think right now he has a foundation where he really preaches abstinence for youths, young men and women too. Now, um, there's also, where I found him was there was an interview that he did with, I want to say Bryant Gumbel. Again, I'm not so sure, but watching it, like the interviewer was almost disgusted with him. He's like, "Don't you think you're weird? That you're doing this?" He's like, "I don't think I'm weird. Is it difficult? Like that sounds really hard." He's like, "Not really. For me, it's not. It just depends on who you are and what kind of appetite you have for that type of thing." So very interesting interview. I highly recommend you check it out. Very inspiring as well. And he's sticking to his guns. This is what he believes, and he's achieved a lot. And he is achieving a lot, and he's trying to help people. So there may be something to that anyway. But anyway, AC Green playing for the Lakers. Check out his interview. Very interesting. Question here in the chat: do you ever look into foods that are the best for like figs? Your nutritional diet focusing on fertility is the best option. Um, me personally, I'm sure that would help, right? Like me personally, my focus is athletic performance. So I'm not really so much focused on retaining improving the retaining retention of my seed in the sense that everything I'm doing is channeled toward that. As a matter of fact, I'm taking on the practice of semen retention because I want to be good at athletics. And in doing so, I found a great thing. I don't think I'll ever give this up. This is amazing. Great feeling and great energy, great creativity. Like I want to see how far I can take this. But yeah, so my focus is just eating healthy because I need to perform, and also because as an athlete who has to make weight, I don't always get a chance to eat whatever I want. I have to be very disciplined as to the timing of carbohydrates, the quantity of carbohydrates, the quantity of food in general. I have to measure my food down to the ounce. So, for instance, for lunch, I'm going to have six ounces of chicken breast with a salad and a little bit of sweet potato. That's a matter of fact what I had last night. My wife made me a delicious salad and a very healthy dressing that she had put together as well. And so that's really where my focus is in terms of nutrition. And but I do find that in focusing on your nutrition, it amplifies the benefits that you get, like the clarity of mind, the energy that you're getting. It's all clean energy, and that's because what you're putting in your body, the fuel that you're putting in your body. I mean, it's really important, right? If you got a really fast car, not that I want to ever get a fast car, live that life. That's not important. But let's say you had a Ferrari, right? You can put regular 87 unleaded gas in it. Probably can't, right? It's not going to perform. So you want to make sure you put the right things in your body. And for me, I'm lean proteins as much as I can. Um, Lots of cruciferous vegetables, fruits, healthy fruits. You just got to be careful with the fruit, especially when you're trying to make weight because it's a very easy way to get heavy. But anyway, I am 2 weeks out from making weight. And after that day, I generally want to gorge myself, but I have to make sure that, I don't. And so therefore that's always the habit of eating terribly afterward. But it's almost like I don't really want to eat terribly. I do want to eat a lot, and I want to eat for nutrition. So, whenever I do eat things that that might not help, improve your retention, I do feel a little bit more sluggish, eating a lot of bread, eating a lot of cake, eating a lot of sugar, refined sugar. Now you have to be very specific about that. You can't cut out, all sugars, but eating refined sugars, definitely doesn't really help. So pomegranate balances hormones and balances testosterone levels to the right levels. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a try. Um, Again, for my weight cutting, I have to be very careful about the quantity, but I'm definitely open to trying those things. And so, if anybody has any types of foods that they eat that seem to really be supercharging their energy and giving them amplifying those benefits, and please post them here. I'm definitely going to give the pomegranate a closer look and try. Then also anybody has any recommendations on how to eat it, because when I crack it open, it just like gets juicy all over me. It get all stained up. But I think that looking for the right food. Also, everybody's palate's different. Finding the right foods for you. But definitely, very important thing is the nutrition. And one thing that I found is, as I went down the semen retention journey, uh, it's almost like I wanted to improve my other habits. One of them was eating. Another one that I terribly had was drinking excessive amounts of caffeine. I never really told anybody why I quit caffeine. One of them was because I've read in the subreddits that cutting out caffeine, it really amplifies benefits, but not only that, it cuts out the urges for you to relapse. Because it's like makes you anxious and it spikes your cortisol. And for me, I was already drinking unhealthily amounts of caffeine, um, which is probably about like 4 or 5 double shots of espresso a day. So um, yerba mate tea is good too, or green tea, but yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. I've never had a lot of yerba mate. I definitely drank a lot of green tea. Now it's almost like I don't tolerate caffeine very well, even though before it's almost like I had to have it all the time. And now my experience is if I drink too much caffeine, it just doesn't sit well. But of course, I understand that green tea is that like leveled caffeine release, as opposed to coffee really spikes the intake, and so therefore you got to be very careful about that. But yeah, I'm gonna try some more yerba mate, and I'll let you know how I feel about that. But yeah, anybody got anything else about like what you solid major contribution to your rich foods? Yeah, yeah. Um, I'll definitely check all those out as well. I appreciate that. One thing I've been taking is Tonkat Ali. I was told that that was something that also helps testosterone get boosted. So far, I feel really good with it. One thing I will share too is, unfortunately, I had some really bad news. Somebody in the Thai community passed away recently. He is Long Pa, which is or Long Ta Tachi, which is he is the first abbot of the Wat Thai in DC. Wat Thai is basically the temple, and it's the hub for all most Thai people that came here. My grandfather was very active in the temple, and he passed away. Uh, Online, I've looked up his age. He's a monk, obviously an abbot. He's been here for over almost 50 years. I've known him all my life, and he passed away. His Wikipedia or information says 101, but I'm told by the people that work there that he was 103 years old. And this is interesting because I'm going to go to his funeral today, and hopefully we'll celebrate his life. But monks are celibate, and one of the things that people always say about retention is that it causes prostate cancer, or you might die of prostate cancer. And one of the, I guess, rebuttals that I always have is, what about what about religious people that are celibate? But also, there are a lot of faiths that look down upon self pleasure, right? Like the Islamic faith. It's not haram, but it's definitely frowned upon, and a lot of people don't do it. So, whereas in America we do whatever feels good, and it's almost like you got to be doing it or else you're weird, um, that brings about other problems. But in any case, here's a perfect example of somebody who's been disciplined all his life, try to help people, and he's lived a really long life. You say 103 years old. Wow. He passed away in his sleep, the most peaceful way to pass. I don't know if I would want to live that long, but I want to live as long as I can and for as long as I'm healthy. And that's also another reason why, I undertake this practice, stay as healthy as I can. So, but yeah, so hopefully we'll see, what comes about the energy as I start to get into my 50s and 60s. I'm hoping that I will continue to stay strong, and hopefully we all stay strong together. So anyway, that's the week 3 check-in, and just those updates. If anybody else, has anything they want to share, please do. You can always leave it in the Q&A here. And what I'll do is I'll make sure that these videos stay in the live section. So if you want to catch up on anything, we can and kind of track our way through. Please leave a comment and a like and subscribe to the channel if you like it and support it. And that way we can get this message out and try to help as many people as we can. Again, it's very important to just offer people ideas, but don't impose them on them because I'm an educator. I like to say I'm an educator. I teach martial arts for a living, right? I have a martial arts school here in Washington, D.C. Please come on by. And if you were to come into the school, what you'd see is a lot of ideas on the wall. One of them is a quote by Jigoro Kano: "Fall down 7 times, get up 8." These are all ideas. Take them or leave them. I have another one on there right next to that quote by the great Yoda that says, "Do or do not. There is no try." I think there's wisdom in that, and I just throw quotes that I like on the wall that have a lot of wisdom, and maybe somebody will take it, and maybe they won't. So that's really my approach, and that's got to be the approach with this too, because one, we're like a very small group. I hope we can get bigger, but people label it a weird practice, and it's easy to dismiss people as crazy. And actually, once you label something crazy, people just don't even look at it or even think there's anything of value. So you don't want to be labeled as that, even though it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really hurt you. It just hurts the world in the sense that something great like this that we think that can help people the word doesn't get out. So it's important for us to kind of remain grounded and just see it as a way of life for us, and offer it as an idea for other people if they're willing to take it. And if not, hey, that's fine too. It's a free country. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Who knows? The world is crazy right now, guys. And that's a whole nother reason why this is important too. And then we all got to stick together no matter what we believe, right? Things are trying to drive us apart all the time. They want us to be weak. That's why they give us corn. That's why they give us sugary foods. That's why they give you things that are not good for you. It's it's important for us to understand that we have to take care of ourselves. The first line of self-defense is, our words, our actions, what we can do, and to take care of ourselves. I think self-defense starts from just the decisions you make every day, and not necessarily from a fighting standpoint. You just got to see every day as a fight. There's things that are here trying to take over the way you think. They're trying to fight for your mind, fight for your attention, and it's really important for us to bind together and stay strong. Okay, because it's much easier for they to rule the world and to keep as long as they keep us divided and fighting amongst each other. So that's so easy. And right now the world is polarized. People thinking the left versus the right, the donkeys versus the elephants. It doesn't make any sense. The whole purpose is to keep everybody divided. Okay, so keep everybody. Let's try to stick together, be nicer together, take care of one another, and the world will be a better place. So that being said, I really appreciate you all joining me on this stream. I'll do it every single week that I can. Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll continue to put the videos in here in case anybody wants to follow along. If anybody wants to get in contact with me, please feel free to do so. And I'm here to be on this journey with you guys. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one.